Hi, and welcome to the Network Marketing Magazine's August issue. This issue's topic was A Better You. My name's Sean G. Murphy. I'm one of the contributing authors from the very beginning. For the last 11 years, the Network Marketing Magazine has been bringing great content with some absolutely powerful authors. And all of this is designed to help you absolutely become better. Now, before we get started, my name again is Sean Murphy, and I want to ask for your permission, if it's okay, if we have a little bit of a conversation today, which means this isn't going to be edited, and you may hear me stumble, you may hear an or an R, and you may see even a misspelling on this. Why? Because, well, not because I wanted to have a misspelling. I just wanted to get you the content, and sometimes we don't see some of the things right in front of us. Which that's what this whole article is about, a better you. Well, I got to tell you, you're already great. You are. You know you are. I'm going to ask you to do some things. This is a working article. Like many of the articles and many of the great authors, they give you tips and tools, and it would be beneficial if you put some things into action. So the first thing I want to remind you of is the funny thing about greatness is we think it's always out there. We think it's someplace else. We think we have to go get it when we already got it. So, what I want to ask you to do, I want to ask you to do some things here. This is, again, a working article. I want you to write down some of the surprising accomplishments you've had in your life already. Well, Sean, wait a minute. That stuff's in the past. No, I understand that. And I'm not going to get sciencey on you. And if you hang out on any of my live videos or you attend any of my webinars that I do, my trainings, you're going to see there's a lot of things I talk about that relate back to science. And one of the things I'll just touch on you with is if you have ever reminded yourself of something, you are already in the past. So when we remind ourselves of our greatness, we're thinking about things in the past, but it's to give us the confidence to go forward to do the things we need to do. So I'm going to ask you, when you write down this list of surprising accomplishments that you've already achieved in life, things like, come on, let's be serious, graduating school, high school, or college, or getting married, or goodness gracious, maybe you had to deal with a divorce, or maybe there's a special needs child in your family, or maybe you've had to move a couple of times, you've been downsized, right-sized, capsized, outsized, and you've gotten through these things. I'm not asking you to bring up all of the change and the difficulties that went along with it. I'm asking you to remind yourself of some of the things you've already done and the accomplishments that you've created. Because here's what's important. I want you to list 10 reasons, 10 action steps that you did that made that great, that made that possible. So if you did lose a job, you had to deal with it. What did you do? What were 10 things you did to deal with it? Right? You started a new job. What were 10 things you did to make that new job get started? And here's why. Because when we're faced with greatness, when we're put into adversity, right? Necessity is the mother of invention. We've come up with some pretty dang good things. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to review the skills you already have. Some you're using and some you've put on the shelf. What are those shelf talents that you have that you're not using anymore? Right? Maybe it's your ability to read. Maybe it's your ability to journal, to write, to do things. There's things you know that you go, man, I'm good at that, and I don't know why I'm not doing that. If you want your greatness to reappear, to show up again, we got to start doing that. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do now. This may be contrary to so many things. What don't you want? Oh, Sean, you're going against the law of attraction. No, I'm not. I'm awakening you to the law of attraction you're currently using. See, why should we force the mind to do something other than it's used to doing? What I mean by that is congratulations where you're at, it's your fault. So if you've got some great things in your life, and you take credit for those, you've also got to take some credit for the crappy things in life. And if we don't recognize why those patterns exist, why they continually show up, why they're continually reappearing in our life, it's because we haven't recognized them. Right? If I asked you to go into your house, into a dark room in your house that you know that you're safe in, and told you to walk around in a dark room, that you know of, you would know how to avoid some of the challenges. You would know where to flip on the light switch, and you would know what to expect as soon as you turned on that light switch in that room because you know the room. Well, some of us are in a room that we keep bumping into stuff because somebody keeps moving moving the footstool or the couch, and we keep having problems because we're not recognizing what's already there. What are the things currently showing up in your life that you don't want? Write those down, because until you write them down, right? We talk about putting things down, but nothing exists until it's written down. Well, if you want these things to go away, you have to recognize them. You have to know what it is that needs to go away. And what could you change today to reduce the don't wants happening in your life right now? There's a list of things you could do. I promise you, there's a list of things you could do that would make that happen right now. There's a couple of things that you would just have to make a slight change in your life, and all of a sudden some more greatness could fill your day up. See, here's the challenge with wanting more greatness is you've got to give up with some averageness to get your greatness. Greatness is right there. It's not 10 miles away from you. It's at your fingertips. And as soon as there's space inside of you for your greatness to appear, when you give up fear and doubt and anxiety and stress, those things seem to show up in your life and fill those voids. See, there's voids that you've filled with fear and doubt and anxiety. So let's talk about what you do want. How much do you want? Right? You see how that's fading in there? It's kind of blurry. A lot of times we really haven't decided what we wanted. We haven't decided when we want it. So let me ask you this. What skill would you need to learn? Think about that. Write that down. You may already have it. You're just not using it enough. Well, I'm good at this, Sean, but I need to get a little bit better at that. Or I'm good at this, but I need to take it to the next level. Well, in order to do more, do you have more time to do more? No, you got the same 24 hours yesterday that you did today that you will tomorrow, God willing. So you got to give up something. What resource do you need to find to bring into your life so that you can have more, you can be more, you can do more? And who would you benefit from meeting? If somebody came into your life, if that ideal mentor, that ideal relationship, that person that could introduce you to somebody, who would that be? What would you benefit from that meeting? See, if you can understand the power of attraction you've already used, if you can be a part of this process that is you, if you could benefit from meeting somebody, here's the question most of us don't ask. What would they benefit from meeting you? See, leverage is two ways. Success is two ways. And whatever you get from meeting them, what would they get from meeting you? Well, Sean, I'm just this little old person. I'm this little peapod on a... No, you're not. You're this greatness. You're this soul of uniqueness. There is only one you. What would they benefit from meeting you? See, until we can come up with that answer, the universe isn't going to put you in front of them, because what do you think they're asking? What do you think they're asking? Anybody you come in contact with, they're asking to meet you. What is the greatness that you will pour into them, pour onto them, share with them, lead them to, introduce them to from a meeting with you? This is about being greatness already. This is about being joyous already. See, you already have this. You already know this. There's people who absolutely have loved meeting you. Why? So let's talk about some steps, right? There's some I'm all about questions. You can tell I'm all about questions. I've got a place you can go get about 35 questions. It's more than 30 questions. I'm not sure how many's on it, but I want to give you access to something I use with my clients, my students, people who are a part of my community. I want them to have this unique way of asking themselves better questions. I'll tell you about that in just a second, but here's what I want you to start doing. I want you to start journaling. See, you can't tell if you're getting better, or you can't tell if you're getting worse unless you know what? Where you are. And a journal does that. A journal does that. Well, Sean, I already journal. Then journal better. Here's the 3 things I usually ask my students to deal with. What's one thing you learned today that you didn't know? What's one thing you did amazing that you've done well today? And what's one thing you should do better tomorrow? See, what did I learn? And another thing I ask, what did I teach? See, if you're not teaching, if you're not paying it forward, if you're not emptying your bucket of greatness for other stuff to fill up, you're, it's hard. It's hard to have more if you don't give it away. All we are is a conduit, so journaling allows us to be that conduit. Learn the better questions to ask, not only yourself, but those around you. And so, like I said, here's a way. If you go to betteryou.seangmurphy.com, you're going to see there's a little place there. You give me your email address. I've already got it. I'm part of the Network Marketing Magazine. You're already part of the Network Marketing Magazine. So it's just go there, get the list. It pops up. There's not going to be another sale between there. Hey, listen, while you're here, would you like to buy this thing for $90? No. That's not there. One-time offer only special? No. You're part of an amazing community called the Network Marketing Magazine. I want you to have access to this. And it's a list of pretty powerful questions. I call them the happiness questions. How do you become happier right now in this moment? They challenge you to think differently. They ask you things maybe you haven't asked yourself in a while, and they force you to think in a different format. And the format that it asks you to think in is greatness, is to have more, do more, be more. So, a better you, create a better source. Wallace D. Wattles in his book said, the book was The Science of Getting Rich. And in it he says you have a right to be rich. You do have a right to be rich. In the Bible, the only time, and I'm not a scholar of the Bible, but one of the things that somebody told me one time is that the only time that Jesus really ever got mad was when a fig tree didn't do what it was supposed to do. Didn't bear figs. So when you are not being your greatness, that's why we get frustrated. When thoughts and actions don't equal results, it should be actually when emotions and thoughts and actions aren't in alignment, when they're not together, cohesive, and our results are different, that's what creates stress. Dr. Wayne Dyer would always say, and you've probably heard this, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. I'm asking you to change the source that you use to be a better you, because where you at right now, congratulations, it's whose fault? It's your fault. The greatness that you have to accept. The bad, you also have to accept. It's not somebody else's challenge. It's not, you're right, I forget who said it. Maybe it was the great Jim Rohn said, when you point a finger at somebody, how many fingers are pointing back? 3 more are pointing back. So it's up to us. To change your source, create a better you, Lynn Grabhorn said, 15 seconds of focus gives thoughts their own life. If you've studied anything about aromatherapy, right, why that's so powerful, when we smell this smell and it activates our brain and triggers memories in our prefrontal cortex and triggers all of that stuff, when we smell something, within 15 seconds, it's in our bloodstream. So when you also give life to a thought for more than 15 seconds, some of us have been doing that for more than 15 seconds, maybe 15 hours, maybe 15 days or years. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. You want a better you, create a better source to create a better you. Use better tools to find a better you. Feed yourself better so you can become better. Well, Sean, how do I do that? Well, inside the Network Marketing Magazine, there's a pretty neat tool that's there. It's called the 27%er Club. It's the community of those people who are just grinding it out, who are working every day. They're not the ones who, people who say I'm going on a diet and they lose 10 pounds just by saying it, right? Whatever they do, things just happen easily for them. And sometimes we're a little jealous of them. I'm speaking from personal experience right there. So the 27%er Club, we found out there's this group of individuals who say, you know what, I'm just tired of being tired. I want to find a community of not the people who are standing on stage and telling me to go buy $1,000 package and I'm going to get better. Nah, this is a great community. Learn more about the 27%er Club. And if you're already part of it, congratulations. That's a secret. Jim Rohn says success leaves clues. That's a clue. Use ideas that grow you. If you're watching TV or doing things that you know need to change, then by gosh, change them. Be around positive people. Be around. Well, Sean, if I change who I am, I'm gonna probably be around some new folks. Yeah, who's gonna be jealous of your growth? Recognize them first. Who's gonna be proud of your growth? Hang around them. So, what can you do to get the most out of today with the talent you have, the ability you have, the passion you already have? Journal that, write that down. Check in on your schedule, on your time, on your success path. Do it twice a day, 4 times a day. My students, I have them check in every hour. And it's very simple. Every hour, take 60 seconds. Just ask. In the beginning, you're going to think it's a waste of time. But if you want a better you, when should that start? How long should we wait? And then a better you for yourself so you can give more tomorrow. Right? Fill yourself up. Be the greatest that you can. Does that make sense? Thanks for being a part of the Network Marketing Magazine. I'm Sean Murphy, founder and creator of Mental Profits. Your thoughts do create your income. And it has very little to do with money. It has to do with everything coming into your life. Learn more about me, visit my website, and I'll see you all where? At the next event. Till then, bye for now.